Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. Have you ever been told that the magic ingredient to entrepreneurial success is consistency? Do you ever see multi-six-figure entrepreneurs saying, if I'm just consistent in doing what I do, my potential clients will come to me? No. Do you ever get a content planning calendar and the only question on there to guide your process is, how many days per week do you want to post content? No. So why do we continue to share this myth that consistency is the path to success as an entrepreneur? Why do so many of us, myself included at times, focus 100% on just getting content out there a specific number of times per week? Clearly, the most successful entrepreneurs out there are not keeping a running tab on the number of posts they or their team is posting each week. If you continue to just keep tabs on the number of posts, the number of reels or carousels that you make, the number of times that you email your list of subscribers, you will likely not have anything to show for all of that consistency. So what do successful entrepreneurs do instead? They shift their definition of consistency. According to dictionary.com, consistency is a steadfast adherence to the same principles, course, form, etc. Is it any wonder that entrepreneurs who use this traditional definition of consistency in its most rigid form don't make progress, can't seem to find flow in their business that generates creativity and growth, or end up plateaued in their progress? No, the idea that we would steadfastly adhere to something suggests that we aren't going to bend, flex, or shift unless we shift the meaning of consistency. So what do those successful entrepreneurs do instead? Well, they redefine how they use consistency in their business, beginning with idea number 1, which is to steadfastly adhere to innovation. When you are able to make innovation the centerpiece of your business, you get to try out new approaches consistently. You get to try out messaging consistently. You get to adapt your offer to the needs of the economy and your potential clients consistently. See where I'm going here? Consistency can be reimagined as a commitment to innovation. What does that look like in your business, though? Well, you might try a new cover image for your podcast episodes. You might explore 3 different approaches to getting your content scheduled each week. You could look at what everyone else is doing and become a beacon of uniqueness. You might do something completely different because everyone else is missing the boat. And it doesn't end there. That new definition of consistency isn't just about innovation. Idea 2 is that consistency can also be reimagined as a steadfast adherence to looking at the data to make adjustments. This means that, yes, an entrepreneur might be posting 5 times a week. But if the data suggests 3 is better, they shift. If the data suggests that more carousel posts than reels are needed right now, they adapt to that data. It becomes less about just putting content out 5 days a week and more about using what you're learning from that data to make adjustments. If you're new to creating content, then at the beginning, yes, you might simply focus on getting a lot of content out there. It might be just about a number, because getting content out there is a prerequisite to getting data to analyze. Just keep in mind that the idea here truly is to get to the point where you have data to use for decision making. It might be that you make a certain number of sales calls or discovery calls each week for a while. And it's truly about honing the process, using the data. Okay, I used this conversation starter. It worked well. This one didn't. Let me make an adjustment. So even though we're focused in the beginning sometimes on number of posts, number of discovery calls each week, that's not the end goal. The end goal is to truly be able to use the data, consistently use data to make decisions within the business. All right, finally, idea 3 is that consistency can be reimagined as a steadfast adherence to generating time blocks for flow and mindset work. Too often, we view the word consistency as a hard number or something concrete, something measurable, something visible. Consistency can be about saving time in your schedule to do the invisible work as well. When you save time for shifting your mindset, feeding your mindset, and practicing mindset, then the innovation and the ability to see what the data is saying comes a lot more easily. The same is true when you create blocks for flow to happen. If you can get into flow, you will more easily innovate. You will come up with new ideas, new approaches, new content, and new ways to connect with and serve your clients. So the key here is not to throw out the idea of consistency. It is to shift your perspective in how you think about the definition of consistency. So let me ask you, do you want to continue focusing on consistency efforts and letting it just be about the number of posts you make per week? Or are you ready to stand out and adopt the same approach to consistency that the most successful entrepreneurs use day in and day out? If you are ready to take action, here are a few things you can do this week to adopt a new definition of consistency. First up, take a look at what you are currently doing that just checks off the boxes in your business. When I'm working with course creators, a lot of times this is a number of posts per week, which is why I've used that example in today's episode so many times. It might also be getting a certain number of modules recorded or a number of one-on-one reach outs to potential clients. It might be a certain number of times you respond to Facebook posts or any other number of things. These are all important things in your business, but they are not going to help you actually stand out from the crowd of entrepreneurs. It doesn't make you the go-to resource. It makes you one of the many resources. If you are ready to stand out and be that go-to resource, look at how you can innovate, how you can use the data, and how you can find time for mindset work and flow this week. For most people, this kind of shift is not one that feels easy. It's a bit like going through turbulence while you're on an airplane. It's a little disorienting, it's a little bumpy, and sometimes it's downright scary because it's different. For so long, we have been taught that consistency is often a tangible thing. It's a number, and that is what is important. This is your opportunity to choose one way that you'd like to do something different from the crowd this week. Look for what others are not talking about that you know is key. You can let your data guide you in this, but if you're innovating, you might not have data just yet. Don't let that stop you. It's okay to innovate and then check the data. In fact, that's kind of the way innovation works, right? But I also want you to take time for your mindset. And this might mean reading a book on mindset because maybe you don't know a whole lot about it. If mindset's kind of new to you. So take some time, read a book on it. It might mean journaling if this is something that you are more familiar with, or it might just mean standing outside, admiring the trees and nature and the birds flying by, and thinking about the beliefs that you hold to be true and the ones that might not be serving you, and maybe you need to shift your beliefs. The key here is that consistency, as we often define it, is not the boon to business that we often expect it to be. I have never seen an entrepreneur jump for joy because their business turned profitable simply because they consistently posted, for example. Instead, They have consistently innovated, consistently used data to make adjustments, and have consistently focused on mindset and flow in their business. These are all things that I work on with my private clients. It's something that we all need help with on a daily and a weekly basis because we get so ingrained in our ways of thinking, and it's tough to shift to a new definition of consistency. So be patient with yourself this week as you start to shift what you view to be consistency inside your business. And because this is somewhat of a different kind of idea, if you found this episode helpful, I would invite you to share it with another fellow entrepreneur. You can screenshot your phone, post it to your stories with your number one takeaway. You might find yourself texting it to a friend who's been struggling to make progress and they've been consistent in the traditional sense. You can even save this episode to listen to it again when you feel like you're stuck in consistency in that traditional definition. The key is to take action this week. The key is to innovate, to use the data, to schedule time, save time for mindset work and flow. And I'll see you back here for another episode of the Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast, where we focus on mentoring, community, and implementation. It's truly about taking action so that we can remove the overwhelm of building a successful and profitable business and add in a little dose of momentum. Until next time, have a healthy, safe, and happy week.